Okay, let's talk about Elon Musk today and whether he's an alien or not. Okay, so to find out whether he's an alien or not, right, I read his 800-page book, okay? Preview. Sneak peek, sneak peek. Anyway, enjoy the video, guys. But hey, guys, I can't lie, okay? I already recorded the perfect clip, really. I actually perfect. But I was using my AirPods, and then the audio quality is so freaking shit. So I need to do it again. And I've done it like 3 times, bro. I swear, bro. This is crazy. But anyway, following the minor success of my previous video, right? A lot of my friends say, hey, this was very fun to see, very fun to watch, and just do more. And then like the dopamine junkie I am, I'm chasing the next high. So I was like, okay lah, let's do another video. Okay, so this guy lah, the video is about this guy. I have been seeing him everywhere, in my Instagram reels, in my Financial Times, in my YouTube, and recently I came across this one. Okay, this clip. Let's watch.
I heard about the formation of the Peace Summit, and I was like, is that PIEC? A little piece of Greenland, a little piece of Venezuela.
we got one.
But anyway, okay. So, I looked him up on Forbes. We can see, right, that his net worth is 787.9 billion, which is, according to this calculator and not me, is more than Larry Page, Jeff Bezos, and Sergey Brin combined. Okay, so all 3 of them add together, still less than this guy, which is just crazy, right? So we can see that in terms of net worth, he's just the GOAT. Okay, he's just the GOAT. And now, let's take a look at Wikipedia. Okay, and let's ignore the highlights because I think, don't ask why. Anyway, we can see that he founded SpaceX. He founded OpenAI. He founded Neuralink. He founded The Boring Company. He founded Tesla, Twitter, and so on lah. Right? Tesla. He founded PayPal as well, by the way. PayPal. If you guys didn't know, last time you guys pay, eBay. My time lah. I don't know Gen Z is how already. SpaceX lor, they launched rockets into space. OpenAI, a lot of people didn't know this either, right? A lot of people just thought that Sam Altman is the only co-founder. But no, guess what? Our dear Elon Musk is also part of OpenAI. Like he founded OpenAI lah. And now he has beef with Sam Altman, right? Because of some non-profit, whatever lah, rich people beef. And then XAI lor, Grok, right? The Boring Company, and Neuralink is the one that they implant chips into the monkey's brains or something. And he also owns Twitter, which is X. Also, he was from January to May 2025, he was the head of the Department of Government Efficiency, which was used to, reduce spending of the United States because of the debt. But anyway, he's also one of the top players in Path of Exile, apparently. And then someone here you can see, can I get a free Tesla? I respect the hustle lah, shooters gotta shoot. But you can see Elon Musk here, laughing at this poor guy. He smokes weed at the same time. He does podcasting. He also is a chronic tweeter, apparently. He has 232 million followers. And he thinks that, Donald Trump has really bad smelling farts. Fair enough. Okay, so look at my really well-crafted summary. Okay, he's the founder of all these companies, right? He was the head of Doge. He's the owner of X, and he's the current CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, and XAI. So, you see all this, him doing all these things. He's running like 3 companies at once. He's founded like multiple companies. And then I think to myself, well, I'm actually a bum. Because I go to class, 2 hours only, okay, by the way, in a day. I come back home, I actually just sit there and do nothing already. And I scroll my reels. Bo pian lah, his life is really like SpongeBob, right? In Chinese, it's called 手忙脚乱. My flatmate, 手忙脚乱, right? You see his underwear there, he's wiping the windows, he's vacuuming the floor. A lot of things going on in his life, he can juggle this. I was like, wow, he must be someone of, he might be an alien lah. He might be an alien. So I was thinking, first of all, is he this penguin? Whether he thinks about the whys of the universe. and whether, he was born to deviate from the general crowd, right? So I want to see why. How does he do it? Okay. So I went ahead and read his fuck ass 800-page book. Okay. Elon Musk by Walter Isaacson. To find out, to find out, how this guy thinks. So let's dive right into it. Anyway, his life begins here. Okay. This is his maternal grandfather. Okay, look at his military suit. Very nice. Right? His name is Joshua Norman Haldeman. Okay. He was very rich. Okay. He was a highly successful professional who had fully rebounded from his Great Depression losses. He had a thriving chiropractic practice. He had a dance school owned by his wife. Very rich guy. Very rich guy. Chiropractor practice. He dealt with bones. He pressed the bones so that your back not so pain. Okay. So this guy and his wife, they gave birth to May and Kay. Beautiful names. Okay. So May is Elon Musk's mother. Okay. Baddie here. Okay. But what I wanted to highlight is that this uncle here, one day he see a for sale sign on a single engine Lascom airplane. He got no cash, but he managed to freaking scam the farmer. Okay, he scammed the farmer, asked him to take his car. Okay, and he didn't know how to fly the plane, by the way. So he called someone and he said, "Hey, brother, can you come fly the plane for me? And then teach me how to fly." So he got a plane, right? He flew the plane, right? Fair enough, bro. Fair enough. So you can see that, he's a very not a very risk-averse person, right? He really liked this motto, okay? Live dangerously carefully. He took the plane, he fly everywhere. He fly from Cape Town, which is in Africa, all the way into Algiers. Okay, he flew to Norway. Great. This plane must have had a torturous life. Okay, sad for it. But he loved to fly. So his motto is live dangerously carefully, right? So one day he lived dangerously until he teach his student to fly into a tiang, a power line, and die. And this was when Elon Musk was 3 years old. So I guess it was not so careful after all, right? So it was like, okay, yeah. So why am I showing you guys this, right? Because fun fact, I put it here so that my face not covering it. Fun fact, that risk-taking behavior, it is actually hereditary, right? If you can see here, the hereditability of risk-taking is roughly 25 to 30%. So if Elon Musk Akong or grandfather is a very big risk taker, maybe that was what made him so risk seeking, right? Anyways, that's his grandfather. Okay, now let's move on to his family. Okay, so we can see his dad, looking a bit like Patrick Bateman, Batman, and then his mom, which is like genuinely the baddest person I've ever seen. And then this one, I don't know which one is Elon, but Elon, if this is Elon, then this is Kimball. Okay, and then this is Tosca. Okay, so beautiful family and you can tell that they were rich okay. So now let's talk about Elon Musk's dad. Okay, Elon Musk. So contrary to a lot of people's belief that Elon Musk may have grew up poor, this is a definitive argument against that. His dad had a degree in engineering, and he worked on building hotels, shopping centers, and factories. Bro, when my dad was working in Intel, his dad was building freaking factories. So bo pian right? And he was even doing politics, right? He was one of the few English-speaking members of the Pretoria City Council. Very rich guy, okay? He even had emerald mines, by the way. He had an emerald mine. Let me see if I can find it. Somewhere here, okay? So, in the book, it said that he had an emerald mine. So, I think he would do very well in Minecraft, right? So, he's rich, okay? His dad was rich. And his dad met his mom, which is May Musk. She was a model. I mean, she is a model now and a dietitian, She's generally a baddie, even until now, right? She's 70-something, and she still looks like, she can walk into a room and every guy would just look at her. Okay, beautiful woman. No comment. So when Elon Musk was a kid, she was doing dietetics or something. I don't know, nutritional science, and she was a finalist for Miss South Africa in 1969. This one I know. This one I know. Okay, Betty. Look at her, bro. Anyways, so rich people plus Betty, this plus a bit lopsided, but you know, they add together, what do you get? You get this guy. You get Elon Musk, you know. He's wearing a backpack, I don't know what he's carrying, but you know, when I was a kid, right, I carried a backpack, right, and then I say, wow, this backpack is very heavy. But now, I realized that, you know, that was not very heavy after all. Anyways, so, fast forward, his dad was abusive, right? In the book, it said that, you know, Elon Musk would tell his wife that she was boring, stupid, and ugly. Which is kind of sad, you know. Don't tell your wife that, right? You know, happy wife, happy life. Okay? And they divorced when Elon was 8. Okay? So, when people talk about Elon being raised in a poor childhood, it's not completely false. Okay? His mom had little money. There was little money. You know. And if you can read here, you know, when Elon were to go to his dad's house to stay overnight, right? And come back to his mom's place, you know, he wouldn't have any clothes because the dad wanted her to go back to him. You know, he said that I will eventually return to him because I will be so broke and wouldn't be able to feed them. So you can kind of tell that, you know, Elon Musk's dad is kind of an evil guy. Okay, foreshadowing. Divorce. Okay, so you might wonder, right? Elon Musk, they divorced already. Who did he choose to live with? Okay. So in the book, it says that he eventually chose to live with his dad. Why? If you can take a look at this beautiful highlight, his dad had a freaking Rolls Royce. Daddy, you know, even I would go, you know, Papa, let's go. You know, bring me on your Rolls Royce. Right? And then, you know, he over time realized that, you know, his dad was someone that inflicted pain lah. And you can see it's a lot of foreshadowing in this book. Why did you choose to go live with someone who inflicted pain? Right? Maybe that's just who he is. Too deep for my channel. But his daddy got Rolls Royce. And his daddy also got encyclopedia and rockets and engineering tools, which Elon Musk could play with lah, because he didn't really have a lot of friends lah. Okay? Anyway, while all this was happening, school was part of Elon Musk's life. Surprise. You know, everyone goes to school. He also goes to school. And obviously, this picture is a Vienna International School, but he didn't go to Vienna International School, okay? He was in South Africa. Okay? He was retarded. You know, his teacher said that we have reason to believe that Elon was retarded. You know, for me, I don't want to use the word retarded, you know, the R word campaign, right? So we will say that he has Asperger's, which means he's on a spectrum, you know, he can't really regulate relationships, you know, emotional connectivity and social skills, which is perfectly fine. So, you know, you're retarded, you only have a lot of friends, what do? Right? You read, lor. As you can see here, there's two people that really like to read, right? One of them is on the left, his name is Elon Musk, and one of them is on the right, and his name is Kai. So you can see two distinguished gentlemen here trying to read, okay? So Elon Musk loved reading, right? He read until he started questioning, where did the universe come from, right? And he started to look into philosophical people, right? Nietzsche, I don't know what this name is, Heidegger. Fuck. And we can see that this guy, sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed. This guy must be the life at the party, bruh. Like, goddamn, such a sunshiny guy. Nice mustache as well. So, when you follow the teachings of a party sunshine like this, you kind of get a bit depressed, right? So Elon Musk was a bit sad for a while. Didn't know the meaning of life, right? But he was saved by science fiction. So on the top here, he was saying he got depression. I forgot to edit. A bit of depression. But he was saved by science fiction. Okay, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. If you guys have read it, it says that, the meaning of life is 42. Don't know what the fuck that means. Okay, so, Elon Musk as a teen has a juvenile hairline. He read, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I, Robot by Isaac Asimov. And this one, once again, insane foreshadowing. Why? Let's see. A robot may not harm humanity or through inaction allow humanity to come to harm. So let's think back, what companies did Elon Musk start? Crazy ass foreshadowing, right? And the answer is XAI, Grok, and OpenAI. So we all know that, Elon Musk's inspiration for, building all these Tesla humanoid robots and being really in control of the Tesla end-to-end supply chain, and also, autopilot and stuff like that, is because of this book, right? I, Robot. Because ultimately, he really believes that AI will not take over the world. He thinks that AI can be programmed to allow humanity to flourish, right? Beautiful man. But you might be wondering, what is the point of this book then? The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, right? So let's watch a video, okay? This is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
The answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything is 42. Yes, I thought it over quite thoroughly. It is, it's 42. It would have been simpler, of course, to have known what the actual question was.
But it was the question. The ultimate question. Of everything.
That's not a question. Only when you know the question will you know what the answer means.
Give us the ultimate question then.
I can't. But there is one who can. A computer that will calculate the ultimate question.
What do we get from this video? Right. This big ass whale head thing is saying that the ultimate answer is 42 because we don't know what questions to ask, right? And you can see this big thing saying one person or one thing, a supercomputer will be able to know what questions to ask. And I think Elon Musk really wants to be that guy. Okay, let's see.
I guess I had this sort of question about what's the meaning of life. Like why is anything important? Why are we here? What's the origin of the universe? What is the end? What are the questions that we don't even know to ask?
Absolute cinema, by the way. So the whole point, right? The whole point that, he is building Tesla, building AI robots, exploring space, doing all that. His entire life trajectory was just purely based on human exploration.
The answer...
Right? He wants to know what questions to ask. He wants to find out more. Collective consciousness. Incredible man. He wants to find out why the answer is 42. Let's revisit the initial question, right? Whether he's from outer space. Whether it's an alien. Right? How else is he able to juggle Tesla, OpenAI, SpaceX, and Grok, and everything else at the same time? He must be an alien, right? But I think otherwise, right? First of all, I proved that he has a family, okay? He has a family, human being families, okay? And he has grandparents as well. But I think ultimately, the reason why I think he's human is because under this facade of a almost trillionaire, a facade of some guy that has 10 kids named XAI, and a guy that is seemingly very dramatic, at the end of the day, right, he's just a kid that read 2 books and wanted to understand the meaning of life. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys.